afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Ask BQ on Bloomberg Quint. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Hi Navneet, and I'm Alex Matthew. Well, if you're wondering whether to buy a stock or if you're unsure of whether you should hold on to one that you've already bought, well, you can ask the experts on this show and they'll help you make a decision. Send your queries to us on Twitter and Facebook, or you can call us on the number on your screen. That's 022-454-04141. You can also mail us at askbq@bloombergquint.com. Just add the Ask BQ hashtag and we'll take as many queries as possible, so do keep them coming. Amit, before we get the guests on, let's get done with the market check.
Well, after yesterday's stellar run, I think we're seeing a bit of cool off. Remember, the global markets were pretty weak. The handover from US was not so good. We did manage to conquer the 10,200 mark in the opening session after having a gap down opening. But once again, there is some selling pressure which has been seen. So currently, Nifty is just around the 200-day moving average, 10,187 for Nifty. But overall, if you look at the Nifty constituents, let's just pull up that and see the contributors list, which are the stocks that are dragging the index lower. Remember, the HDFC twins were quite active yesterday, and they together have almost 16 to 17% weightage on Nifty, so they are not trading in the green territory, and hence the reason why we're seeing some sort of drag coming in from both these heavyweights. And L&T and Infi are the other two heavyweights which are trading in the red, whereas stocks like IndusInd Bank, Mahindra and Mahindra, State Bank of India and Yes Bank have managed to stay in the green as of now. But overall, the volatility is actually on the higher side. So if you pull up the India VIX, that's inched higher. That's trading with gains of nearly 2%. The broader markets, which actually outperformed in yesterday's session, today as well, we're seeing some green ticks coming in for the Nifty Mid Cap as well as the small cap indices. So Nifty Mid Cap 100 currently trading with gains of 19 points, still off the day's high, I would call it. And let's just pull up the market breadth. Remember, yesterday the key trend was that we managed to maintain that very strong market breadth that we'd seen 5:1. And as we speak, still overall, if you look at the broader markets, the advances are more than the declines, at least on National Stock Exchange. When we started the day, the Nifty PSU Banking Index, that was the top sectoral gainer. It is still the top sectoral gainer, but the intraday chart will tell you that it's off day's high now. So almost 1.2% higher for Nifty PSU Banking Index, which was trading with gains of 2 to 2.5%. The top sectoral loser for the day is the Nifty IT index, and we highlighted this for you in the morning. Globally, the tech stocks are seeing some bit of sell-off, reason being there are talks of heightened regulations for the tech companies, and back home in India, Nifty IT is also seeing some bit of correction. Some stocks I want to highlight. Infibeam has been trading with some gains after small cap World Fund acquired 3.5% stake in the company, so 4% higher for Infibeam. And a couple of other gainers, Aditya Birla Money, which was locked in upper circuit with gains of 20% yesterday, is heading towards the same limit of 20%. Motherson Sumi, on back of that acquisition, is trading with gains. Remember, brokerages gave a thumbs up to the acquisition, and NBCC is having a great day. That's trading with gains of 5%. Besides that, in terms of investment themes, it is the tire stocks which are gaining. So look at stocks like Apollo Tires, CEAT, MRF. All of them have seen significant gains. In fact, stocks like Apollo and MRF have also touched their fresh 52-week high as we speak. And talking about the 52-week high, Indigo and Dilip Bilkon, these two have also touched their fresh 52-week high. Interglobe is trading with gains of 3%. And Dilip Bilkon, let's not forget, there was a upgrade which came from BofA ML yesterday, giving it a target price of above 1,200. And yesterday also the stock gained between 8 to 9%. So follow on buying scene for this one. Couple of F&O losers I want to highlight. Tech Mahindra among the IT pack has seen cuts of 3%. Balrampur Chini trades weak, and Kajaria Ceramics is the other one where some bit of fresh short position so far has been seen. Alex.
So not the kind of sell-off that the global cues initially suggested, but let's get our two experts in for the day. Brijesh Singh of StockAxis Advisors and Vinit Bolinjkar of Ventura Securities are here to answer all of your questions. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. And with that, let's take our first query of the day. Sanjeev Agarwal writes to us on YouTube. He has 1,000 shares of M&M that he bought at 638 rupees with a long-term view. Sanjeev wants to know at this point whether he should hold or sell. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's at right now. M&M is currently trading at just about 762, which essentially means that the viewer has gains of about 11% on this particular investment. If we're talking about M&M, and if we're talking about the investment that he's made, the recent update, of course, is talking about the tractor sales, 50% increase in March. And if you're looking at the whole year, 22%, essentially talking about the rural story being strong for M&M. Should he hold on at this point?
Yeah, I think the rural story will continue to remain strong, especially given the fact that the government has done a lot of things to stabilize farm income. So, it used to be very volatile. And the first challenge will be on that would be, if we have a bad monsoon this year, then how does it hold out?
Yeah.
So the insurance scheme, the minimum crop pricing, and a lot of irrigation projects that have been kicked off will mean that the farmer will be assured of some kind of revenues. They also had a farm waiver. So that money is going into purchasing equipment, which is very positive. And food side is also getting a lot of good food processing is getting increasingly organized, becoming a bigger industry. So all these factors portray very well for tractor sales. And M&M has very dominant market share. They'll continue to dominate that as they've shown right now. And on the UV side also, they're launching 3-4 new models. So I think all in all, everything is coming together.
What's the target for you, long term?
I would put it around between 850 to 900.
Okay.
Okay, that's the view coming in on M&M. Remember, the auto sales numbers for the month of March were pretty strong, and we saw a huge rally for all these auto and auto vans companies in yesterday's session. Let's move on and take our next query. This one comes from Mandar Thakkar. He's calling us from Pune. Hi, Mandar. Good afternoon. Thanks a lot for calling us. Tell us what you want to know from our experts.
Hi, Navneet. Yeah, you have a great show going on. Thanks for that. I want to congratulate you on that. My query is this the right time to enter Hindalco from a 2-year perspective?
Okay, Mandar, first of all, thank you for watching our show. And I just want to check why Hindalco in the metal space. Have you bought the stock, or are you looking for a fresh investment?
Fresh investment. I heard that it is doing pretty well, so I was interested in the stock. But I wanted to confirm before investing.
Sure. Mandar, we'll help you out. We'll take this query to Vinit. Vinit, in the metal space, a space which has actually outperformed in the last 1 year. Everything is going well besides the trade war fears which have been sparked by, the US administration. And specifically for Hindalco, which has exposure in the US market by way of its subsidiary Novelis, would you advise him to take up a fresh, to make a fresh investment with a 2-year horizon?
Actually, no, we would just wait a while and try to see how the negotiations between India and the US pan out. India is asking for a waiver from any trade barriers on aluminum and steel.
Right.
So we need to see how that pans out. And in case there is some kind of negative...
But India doesn't have that sort of exposure is what, majority of the analysts have been highlighting.
Yeah, I understand that, but there'll be a sentimental impact. And,
for sure.
Once that happens, then is the time when you can, would be a sweet spot to get into it.
So anything in the metal space besides Hindalco that would be your top pick?
I think JSPL is a very strong stock pick.
Okay.
On the steel side, because long products don't have any impact in India due to any trade barriers or dumping. And we have very strong traction on long products.
Okay, Mandar, hope we answered your query. Vinit feels that you can wait out for a while, but his top pick in the metal space would be Jindal Steel and Power.
All right, let's take the next query. This one from Nikhil. Nikhil writes to us on Facebook. He wants to invest in United Breweries with a 6-month view, and he wants to know whether it's advisable to get into this particular stock at the current levels. United Breweries at the moment trading around that 973 mark. It's lost ground so far this year. It's down about 10.5% so far this year. I'm going to go to Brijesh with this view. Brijesh, what are the charts telling you with regard to United Breweries? At what point should the investor get in, if at all?
See, if we checked about United Breweries, the United Breweries started its rally from somewhere around 717 or 715, and it was a low of in the month of April 2017, and after that it went all the way to the high of 1243 in the month of Feb, and after that it's been going in a profit booking mode. recently, last week, it made a low of somewhere around 1915. If we draw Fibonacci retracement with this 2 point of 714 to 1243, that 61.8% retracement comes at around 915 around, and after that is giving a bounce back, and it's been trading in the range of the 50% retracement, that is 970, 975 zone. Purely as a trader, anything somewhere around 960, 965 would be a buy side. Here your stop loss would be 930 around. Upside again, anything above 995 or say 1000, the chances of touching 1050 is on a higher priority. And if anything crosses this thing, then the next level to watch would be 1120. So definitely it's a buy side, but somewhere around 960 around, so that your risk reward ratio would be matching it.
All right, Nikhil, 960 is the number that you have to look forward to, and it's a definite buy on United Brewery.
Stock, I guess, has corrected.
Significantly.
Yeah, we've seen those levels of 1190, I guess, in the month of February or towards the end of Jan. So from thereabouts, it has corrected, as the chart is also indicating. But I guess we're getting a lot more of your queries on our social media platforms. I'm going to go across to Ronak's query, who writes to us on Facebook. He wants to invest in State Bank of India. He's asking if this is the right time to put his money here. Okay, I'm going to take this query to Brijesh again, because let me just check the key levels here, if this is the right level for somebody to make a fresh investment. Brijesh, State Bank of India, 250. Would you advise somebody to enter here?
See, 250 for short term, it would not be advisable. If I'm not mistaken, the stock from a level of 350, it's been getting corrected, and the major important level lies around 220 zone. So even on the higher side, till it is not been able to cross 275 zone, it would be feeling pressure in short to medium term time frame. So if it comes somewhere around 240 or below that, so we can one can go for a buy side. Here your stop loss, as I said, 220 would be the stop loss. On a higher side, 270 would be acting as a resistance. Anything above 270, then the next level to watch would be 285 to 290 zone. 250, avoid it. Let it come to 240 zone, below 240.
Okay, Vinit, do you think it's a good investment? And I know the valuations of all these banks have corrected so much. So if somebody wants to choose and take that risk of, buying stocks which have corrected in the banking space, would you take a bet on SBI?
So I think Q4 is going to see a lot of write-offs coming in. And just like in the case of Hindalco, because of headwinds of global pricing and uncertainty, I think there would be one bout of selling in SBI too. So you just wait a while for the results, and then after that would be a better opportunity.
But some respite coming in from RBI, where they've told the banks they can spread out their bond portfolio losses across the next 4 quarters.
Yeah, but against that we have the write-offs coming in for the stressed assets.
Okay.
So that's going to be very steep.
Right.
And whatever indications I've got from my sources tell me that it could be quite a whopper.
So wait for earnings, maybe there could be more correction?
Yes, I think the day post the earnings can be a very sweet spot to get into it.
All right, fair call. The next query that we have is an interesting one. In fact, this one's from Abhishek Gupta, and he's leaving a blank canvas for you, Vinit. And he says that he has 1 lakh to invest in the markets with a 1 to 2 year view. Where should he put his money?
So I think he should put his money in the banking space, HDFC Bank. Or IndusInd Bank.
Valuations don't concern you here?
No, I think we are going to see market share gains happen for the
ICICI
private sector bank. So first it was only the PSB, but now you have Axis and ICICI. So there's going to be a real flight to quality. People are going to be putting their money more in these banks, and their HDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank, and RBL Bank are absolutely top quality.
Private banks
with very high growth factors. So I think that's a very good space to be in.
Well, and history says it all for HDFC as well as IndusInd Bank. RBL is recently listed, and so far it's been doing pretty well. But let's get going. Our next query on Facebook comes from Nikhil. He is asking if our experts could help him with short-term views in stocks like Tech Mahindra, which is trading weak in today's session, and also on something like Bharti Airtel. Brijesh, I'll come to you for both these stocks. Tech Mahindra, which is down 3%, Bharti Airtel. Can somebody take a short-term trade here?
See, for Tech Mahindra, if we check it about the stock on a weekly chart, it's been trading in the bullish wolf wave. So the first level of the target, that is 650 around zone, has been met. And if I'm not mistaken, today somewhere around 620 or 625, the stock has been trading around. Short-term view, till the stock has been trading above 600 or say 595, one can take a call. But again, as I said, 650 the target has been met, so the 650 has to be crossed for the next level. The next level for the medium term is 750, but for the short term, I'll say if it comes somewhere around 600, 610 around, definitely one can take a buy initiative with keeping a stop loss of 595 and look again for 625 followed by 650 zone. Regarding with Bharti, if I'm not mistaken, the stock has been trading somewhere around 397. Till the stock is not crossing above 410, the pressure would be continuing, because on the weekly chart it has been trading in a lower highs formation, so it's been giving a downside of target of 380 and 370. So I would be avoiding this stock Bharti for the long. Rather than long, I would be going for a short with a stop loss of 410, look for the target of 380 zone.
Interesting call on Bharti, Navneet, because if you look at the stock, it's lost about 27% since November.
Yep.
And at the same time, you have 70% of the analysts that are tracked by Bloomberg that have a buy call.
You know, that's
stock.
forever been the case. Majority of the analysts, despite of the company losing market share, stock price not doing well, but they've maintained their stance on the buy side.
That's an interesting call there. The next question that we have is from Anand Kishore Dhavle. And he wants to invest in Granules India with a 4 to 5 year view. It's an interesting stock, Navneet, because the stock is corrected about 22% so far this year. I'm going to go to Vinit. Do you have a call in the stock, Granules India?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting play. So if you want to play the pharma space with a growth story, I think Granules is a very good bet. Historically, they've taken a lot of decisions which have turned out to be winners for them. So this bump up which they are looking at in revenue growth and profitability is going to be worth a watch. So you can have disproportionate gains out here compared to the pharma pack.
Then what explains the 22% fall in this current year? Is it, you know, the broader negativity that is affecting it?
Yeah, that's it. It's actually the sector sector indifference. But I think that's one stock which can really pick up going forth.
Okay, that's the view on Granules India. Vinit likes the stock at current levels. Let's take some more queries on YouTube. Ravindra Zinjurke writes to us. He's bought 500 shares of PTC India at a price of 103, and the stock has actually slipped below Ravind's buy price. It's currently trading around the mark of 90, and he wants a view on the stock. Brijesh, I'll come to you. If somebody's bought PTC India around the mark of 103, what would you advise them to do? Should they be booking out their losses, or one can look to keep a stop loss?
See, somewhere around 87, 88 is a support. So I'll not say to book loss right now. Use rise to exit, but not at this level. Anything somewhere around 94, 95 would be acting as a resistance. So where he can book his loss and get out from this stock. Since the buying price is a very tough resistance, 100 rupees or 104 is a very tough resistance. But I am looking a stock giving a pullback, because 87, 88 is a nice support. So either if this break, then get out, or otherwise hold on this stock till the level of 94, 95, then exit it.
All right. That's the view for you, Ravindra. Let's take the next query. This one on Blue Dart. Aslam Patel is asking about Blue Dart. He's bought about 10 shares of Blue Dart at 4,510. He's asking at this point whether he should hold, sell, or average. It's a pertinent question because the stock is currently at 3,750. Now, what people were saying with regard to the logistics space hasn't really panned out for Blue Dart, with the kind of run that the stock has had, losing about 28% over the last year, significant losses in this year as well. What should he do with this stock?
I think the e-commerce story may just pan out now going forth. So considering that, I think he should hold on to his stock, since he's already seen a lot of erosion. So we should give it a little bit more time to get its act together with the consumption story panning out now.
So then does it make sense for him to average at this stage?
I wouldn't advise on that. I don't put good money after bad. So let the bad.
Understood. So it essentially makes sense to hold on since he's already seen so much erosion.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Blue Dart, and we've got some more live queries coming by. Satya Subhash on Facebook is asking, he wants to invest in Greaves Cotton with a one-year view and he's seeking advice for the same. Let me check what Greaves Cotton has done in the last 1 year or so. Well, it's down 12% on YTD basis, not given good returns in the last 1 year, so it's definitely underperformed the markets. Brijesh, I'll come to you for this. Greaves Cotton on the charts, how is it looking? Would you advise somebody to, make a fresh entry here?
See, on a weekly chart, it's been trading in a downward channel slope. 110 is a nice support. So till 110 doesn't break, if someone wants to invest fresh investment, definitely one can go with a strict stop loss of 110. Anything below 110, then stock may drift to a level of 100. But from a weekly chart, what I have been looking at, there are double bottom as well as a triple bottom formation has been there in short to medium term time frame. So 110 would be your strict stop loss. On a higher side, your 128 would be acting as a resistance, immediate resistance. Anything above 128, stock can jump to the level of 145 to 145 around in short to medium term time frame.
Vinit, do you track this one, Greaves Cotton?
No, I don't track that.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead, Alex.
All right. The next query, Brijesh, is for you. This one from Siddharth Badrinath. He has 100 shares of Future Consumer that he bought at 59 with a short-term view, and he's asking for advice. The stock is currently just below his buy price, in fact, at 55 rupees. What are the charts telling you with regard to the short-term view on Future Consumer?
I'll say hold on because still the short-term trend chart is being in a positive zone. Till stock doesn't break 48 or 49 on closing basis, it would be a hold first of all. Anything if it comes somewhere around 52 also, I'll say to accumulate more. And on a higher side, the buying price, that is 59, that is a resistance zone. Anything above 59 on closing basis, stock can jump to the level of 68 in short to medium term time. So definitely hold on. Keep your stop loss of 48.
Okay, stop loss of 48. If you've already taken Future Consumer, maintain that stop loss, which Brijesh is advising. Let's take some more queries, and this one comes on YouTube. Saurabh writes to us, he wants to invest in an auto ancillary company called Jamna Auto with a 3-year view, and he's asking for advice. Remember, Jamna Auto was quite active in yesterday's session. Limited coverage here, Vinit. I was just looking at it, but majority of the brokers, 6 to 7, whoever has coverage, they're quite bullish on this counter. I'm looking at the December quarter earnings. We've seen EPS appreciation, and this is the counter which has actually doubled shareholders' money in the last 1 year. Would you take a bet, because auto ans actually have been in focus in the last 1 year?
So we have seen the two-wheelers and the auto numbers come out, which have been very, very strong, and I don't see any way that this train is stopping, So keeping that in mind, Jai Bharat Maruti is Jamna Auto is a good company to remain invested in.
And a fresh investment?
You can add up.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
And since you mentioned Jai Bharat Maruti, it was locked in upper circuit yesterday. So do you like that one as well?
Yeah, we like that too.
Okay.
So basically all the players who are not towards the IC engine, those players will do very well.
All right, let's take the next query. This one from Saurabh Bidwani. He has 30 shares of GIC Re that he bought at 861 and 24 shares of SBI Life at 687. He's asking at this point if he should hold or average. He hasn't mentioned what his, his time horizon is. But if you're talking about these two different players here, GIC Re hasn't had the best performance in recent. It's a recent listing.
Yeah.
SBI Life, on the other hand, a lot of people have talked about how the life insurance space is going to pick up. What should he do with these two investments?
I think they're still dominant players, and the insurance sector is only picking up. Our penchant for getting insurance now is going up. Health insurance is opening up with the government's health scheme coming through. So I think there can be a pullback on these stocks.
All right, and GIC Re, it's not really had the best performance.
I don't track it too much, but generally as a per se on the insurance sector, I think it's one of the sunrise sectors. So you won't lose too much of a dollar out here.
Okay, since we're talking about the insurance space, our next query is on Aditya Birla Capital, which is the financial services arm of the Birla Group. Manish Mehta writes to us, he wants a long-term view, and obviously they're not just into insurance, it's a financial services arm, so they do a whole host of other things as well. Vinit, what's the call on Aditya Birla Capital?
I think we'll have to wait a while and accumulate that stock, sip it, not make a complete endowment to that. So as the sector starts picking up, we will see AB Capital's business plans also.
There was so much of excitement when this company was getting listed. I remember the discovery price was somewhere about 200, and it's never been able to go back.
So it was, the valuations were extremely irrational, they were on the exuberant side. So we wait for that dust to settle, let the weak hands get out, and hence you buy over a period of time, not like make a complete allocation.
All right. If we have time for another query, let's take one. In fact, this one from Harsh Kumar, who wants to invest in IIFL with a 1 to 2 year view. Brijesh, I'll come to you. What are the charts telling you with regard to IIFL?
See, if we are talking for a short to medium term horizon, 708 has been quoting at the stock. I'm not looking promising that much for short term. I'm looking stock coming down somewhere around 680, 685, where the risk reward ratio would be in your favor. Then one can go for a buy side at 680 zone. Here your stop loss would be somewhere around 640, the deeper support, and on a higher side, stock has to give closing above 730 zone for a fresh move. So 680 would be the buy price, 640 would be a stop loss, 730 would be the key level to watch. Anything above 730, then the next level to watch would be your 785 to 790 zone.
Okay, that's the view on IIFL Holdings. Let's just take one more query. This one comes on YouTube, and Loknath Reddy writes to us. He's bought 2,000 shares of Idea at a price of 90, and he wants to know if he should sell at these levels, he should hold, or he should look to average here. Vinit, is averaging Idea a right strategy?
I think it's just not done anything, and I think it would be better switching to any other stock that he would like.
Like what? Which one would you advise?
In the same space?
Not in the same space, but I think there's a auto anch play called Talbros Auto.
Talbros Auto, that's
that should see its EPS go from 10 rupees to 30 in the next 2 years. So there's a strong earnings growth story there, and they've got their act together. So I think that stock would be a good
it's doing
investment.
well today. It's up 8.5%. Since you mentioned auto and since I think somebody wrote to us and asked about GNA axles as well, if you have a view there.
So what is happening is two axle cars are becoming more, 2 axle CVs are becoming more popular. So GNA axles is in the right space.
Okay.
Yeah, the number of wheels goes up, the company benefits, I guess. All right. Navneet, fair call.
Yeah, I think we're done now with the show. We're running out of time. Thank you very much, both of you, Brijesh as well as Vinit, for helping our viewers with your queries. Well, that's all that we have on this edition of Ask BQ.
But do remember that we're just a tweet, post or call away, so do keep your queries coming in, and we promise to address as many of them as possible on our shows. For the ones that we've discussed today, you can find them on BloombergQuint.com if you search for the hashtag AskBQ. Well, that's all we have for you on Ask BQ, but up next is Power Lunch, so do keep watching. This is Bloomberg Quint.